A group of Sri Lankan asylum seekers at a Melbourne detention centre have commenced a hunger strike demanding their release. A group of Sri Lankans who were arrested in Australia for illegally entering the country via boat have commenced this hunger strike. The Sri Lanka High Commission in Australia says that they had commenced the fast a few days ago. Now, why are people undertaking a treacherous journey to illegally enter Australia? The following report was filed by a News First correspondent. We are presenting this report, not revealing the identity of the correspondent, taking into account the threats that have been made on our journalists engaged in investigative journalism.
Special attention was focused on boat people after their vessels met with accidents in waters close to Christmas Island, Australia. The Sri Lanka Navy also seized a number of fishing vessels that were to be used to illegally make the journey to Australia. Navy media spokesperson Commander Kosala Varnakulasuriya said that over 3,000 persons were arrested since 2012 for attempting to make this journey. Many who attempt to illegally migrate to Australia use multi-day fishing vessels. Close to 100 people travel on these boats on this journey. This is the hold of the multi-day fishing vessel. This is used for the storage of ice and catch. This tiny space is where those who attempt to illegally go to Australia hide in. Illegal migrants hide inside this tiny room until they pass the Sri Lankan maritime border in order to evade Sri Lankan Navy patrols. This individual, originally from Trincomalee, was one who engaged in this treacherous journey and was later deported back to Sri Lanka.
Australia and the economic foreign Tamavane at a Puluan Lasata Koyagan and the Puluangilakiva. Magadam Akratuma Kumburo Vigula, the Laxada Activica. That was Kia with Australia and Yanakiva. Abdigo das Dahatra Kilakiva. Dahatra Kilakiva. There were many other Katari Asini Pakunatari, Mokarigo, they got to be hit the Mokari Sunmaki. Isra de Valia Duna, Udet. Rat Duna, I have thus Hayakata game bus, Madalta Drakanda. A man out of me, Sanipina to Yapodilame. Ila me in a West at a Sanipina to Gila, Una Hedila, Seattle Merma. Pulamuna, Pulamuna Navy Alangila, a bit of body bed time now, Duna, may pay take Arangila when I do but in them happy. Two but I came at a end the back under he was in the Lame and the Bulam, Australia town and the Bulangilla, make a limb, make a perata langa about taking a lava. Mother than in the Tarakna to Mamini. Maracanda than to 60 days and I can how under in Nona. And you are a member of Koromar Gang and Depa.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Julia Gillard says that Sri Lankan asylum seekers going on hunger strike will not succeed in pressuring the Australian government to change its policies. The Premier was commenting on a group of 27 Sri Lankan asylum seekers who were on a hunger strike at a Melbourne detention centre. While the Australian Immigration Department won't comment on why the detainees are on strike, it's believed the asylum seekers have been granted refugee status but have had their release into the community refused due to the adverse Australian Security Intelligence Organisation assessments.
In the meantime, the United States Geological Survey reported that a magnitude 7.8 earthquake has struck the southeast of Iran. The epicenter of the huge quake was 86 kilometers from the city of Kash in the Sistan-Balochistan province near the border with Pakistan. Officers were evacuated in Abu Dhabi and tall buildings swayed in the Indian capital Delhi, while tremors were felt across the Gulf and wider Middle East. Iranian state TV reported that at least 40 people were killed, although one official said he fears hundreds have died. According to correspondent correspondents, this is the largest earthquake in Iran in the last 40 years. On the 10th of April, at least 37 people were killed and 850 wounded in a 6.3 magnitude quake in southwest Iran.
Taking a look at more local stories, 2 people have been killed in a clash which broke out between 2 groups near the Ilukmula reservoir in Sitinamalu, Beliantha. While 2 suspects have been arrested in connection with the incident, the police say that another suspect has fled the area.
The police say that the 2 victims were stabbed to death last night. The police say that the clashes were the result of an argument between the groups escalating. The deceased have been identified as 16-year-old Lasandu Madushan Jailat from Puak Dandawa, Beliatta and 21-year-old Chamat Sandaruan from Sitanamaluwa, Beliatta. 4 others were injured in the incident. Subsequent to being admitted to the Beliatta District Hospital, the injured were transferred to the Tangol Base Hospital and Matara General Hospital for further treatment. Meanwhile, a woman's body washed to the shore in Vella, Chilau today. A correspondent says the police had recovered the body and taken it to the mortuary at the Chilau hospital.
The Department of Meteorology says that the prevalent inter-monsoon weather pattern will prevail until the first week of May. Director General at the Department of Meteorology, S.H. Karyovasan, said that thunder showers and strong winds can develop within a short period of time. Meanwhile, gale force winds that swept through several villages in the Kahatagas Digilia area damaged 25 houses.
Gale force winds swept through the Miminnavala and Kumbukwawa villages in Kahatagastigile last evening. The roofs of many houses in those villages were badly damaged. Villagers said that the strong winds persisted for about 2 minutes. No casualties were reported. The winds caused this destruction in just a minute and a half. There was no roof. We went outside. They came running from the other side. Chief Minister of the North Central Province, S.M. Ranjit, who visited the affected area last evening, said that he had instructed officials to provide relief to the displaced.
Actually now we are having the inter-monsoon conditions, which means there are no any kind of effect, no strong effect of the monsoon and winds, etc. So regional winds are very weak. So as a whole, we are having very light winds. However, these conditions are quite favorable for the development of clouds, convective clouds during the daytime, because of the solar heating and so on. So after about 1 or 2 o'clock we can expect a sort of the cloud formation with sometimes thunder or lightning activity, so that we have to be very careful about what is happening in the atmosphere or the environment.
Coming up later on in the news.
The Miami Heat hold off the Cleveland Cavaliers, resting their all-stars.
All the action on sports first.
Defense, that was Granado. Allen with a quick release. Knocks it home in time. And the Heat do get there. Finds Joel, who jams it home. He's get Kyrie.